Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly pick a card reading. Now this pick a card reading, for those of you that follow me, is dated. So this is for the week of the 31st of July to the 6th of August. For those of you that don't follow, but every now and again you might just stumble across my pick a card readings, my weekly pick a card readings, just know that this is for whenever you find this reading, this is for your week ahead, and the messages here are timeless. They will find you when they need to. For those of you that follow me, just know that this is this week's messages for you. Let's get started. Okay everyone, we have pole number 1, pole number 2, pole number 3 and pole number 4. So for pole number 1 we have the jade, for pole number 2 we have the zebra agate, for number 3 we have the serpentine. I don't know if you can see, that's it, that's quite a mossy green colour. And for pole number 4 we have the snakeskin jasper. So my friends, select a pile that you feel drawn to by crystal, number or the actual images on the card. If there's one that really draws your attention, that really calls you. And again, feel free to select as many piles as you feel drawn to. Just know there'll be a message, or you'll hold on to a message that is meant for you in the pile that you choose. Feel free to pause if you need a bit more time to select. I'll see you in your reading. Hello pole number 1, welcome my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have the King of Wands, we have the 9 of Pentacles, and we have the 2 of Pentacles. We have celebration and the end as additional messages, and the overall energy we have bowerbird and we have hope. Isn't that beautiful energy actually? Okay, let me just grab the energies, my friends. So let's start with your overall energy. It says bowerbird, and the card says you can create a safe space for yourself and others. When you give to yourself, you invite the universe to give to you also. The affirmation is, I enjoy my safe inner space and naturally gather the energies I need. Now the bowerbird, if I'm not mistaken, loves blue. So it generally collects blue things, but the male bowerbird creates these amazing nests for the female, and the female will come in and she will literally pick her mate because of the nest, and the bowerbirds decorate their nests, so they're quite beautiful. And there's this sense that if you create, pole number 1, they will come. It's that sense of, you know, if you were starting up a business, this card is telling me, don't look at the market so much. Don't look at, well, there's nothing here, there's nobody here. It's almost like if you build it, they will come. And I like that energy, actually. I really like that energy because it kind of reminds us that we are the paintbrush, the conductor to our life. And when we align with what is meaningful to us, with what we love, the universe aligns that back at us. And it's very much that energy of build it and they will come. So it's not building to the market, and I know that sounds counterproductive if you've done business studies. It's literally building to your strengths, your passions, your calling, your purpose, and then what you need will come to you. And I think more and more we're seeing this energy, more and more we're understanding this energy. I feel that, and especially those that follow me, because I really feel that if you're here, you know, you've done a certain level of awakening, you've done a certain level of inner work, shadow work, whatever you want to call it. And I feel that we are seeing firsthand, like tangibly, how when we follow not logic, not what we think makes sense on a tangible level, but what we are called to do, something like a fire in our belly, things tend to fall into place. Of course, you've got the End card here and the Two of Pentacles and just this Hope card. I'm getting sometimes not as we hoped, not as we foresaw, not as we wanted. But a lot of the time that leads to something that is more aligned. There's maybe a piece of the puzzle that we missed. I feel this Bowerbird card is you creating a safe space for yourself, a haven for yourself. And in that, and I'm not talking about, thank you Spirit, Spirit's saying this is not building walls, this is not locking people out. This is a space that you feel creatively inspired in. So the safe space is not to keep people out. It's not fear-based. It's actually a place where you feel comfortable enough to open up to who you truly are. So it's a very creative space, because when we allow ourselves to be us authentically, it opens up creativity, whatever creativity means for you. It doesn't just have to be the creative arts, music, art, you know, all those kind of things. It can be just our jobs, you know, it can just be what we want to do. And when we create from that authentic space, when we are just being ourselves, when we open up and feel safe to be ourselves, we've created this space within us, and then that spills out of us. Others are drawn to that because others then feel, I can completely be myself. And Spirit's just giving me an example, which was an experience that I had not long ago. I was in a country town in New South Wales, and we went to this, my friend and I went to this, I can't remember what it was called exactly, but it was like a expressive dance, and it was in a yoga studio. And it was basically go, and there was different types of music, drums or very energetic, very slow and flowy. So different musics that emanated different energies. And it was basically free dance. It was allowing yourself the freedom to move however the music guided you to. And the space was just really nurturing. And the two ladies that were putting on this dance, they were so authentic, so free. And that energy that they put in that room, I think allowed everybody to feel free and to feel not embarrassed, almost uninhibited, to just be able to dance and not think, oh, I've got, are my moves good? Do I look like an idiot? Do I look like a really good dancer? None of that. It was literally allowing your body to express itself, and it was kind of like almost freeing your body from the captive mind. Your mind controls your body. Oh, sit up straight, tuck your tummy in, all those kind of things that we sometimes tell ourselves. Now, that is the space that you're creating. When you create a space of authenticity and being who you are, the people that come into that space feel that. And therefore, they will drop their mask. They will become more authentic. And because that feels so good to us, they are then drawn to whatever you're offering. Because it's this space that you've created that allows them to be themselves. That's really beautiful energy, pole number 1. And that is being of service. That is helping others, even though it's not directly. It's just creating better energies that then emanate through the people you are in contact with, and then those people, they are lifted by that energy, and then they move forward and they transform, and then that emanates through them into their environment. So it's this knock-on effect. The other overall energy, pole number 1, is hope. And the card says, wonderful things can and do happen. Let your hope inspire your dreams and your actions. Believe in kind and marvelous magic. And the affirmation is, hope empowers me to create a beautiful life. Listen to these affirmations. So the bowerbird one says, I enjoy my safe inner space and naturally gather the energies I need. And the hope one says, hope empowers me to create a beautiful life. You're tapping into your inner power, your authentic self, and that creates a space that empowers you to create a beautiful life. And I feel, pole number 1, there is a certain amount of hope here. Like I was saying with the bowerbird spends so much time creating its nest. And I'm not sure about this, but if the female doesn't like it, I wonder if she destroys it. I'm not sure if she goes in and kind of, for want of a better word, trashes it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I kind of believe they do. Or maybe the male bird, when the female rejects him, maybe he clears it and starts again. But it takes him days to make this nest and lots of effort. So I feel there's this certain amount of hope that comes with what you're wanting to create, what you're hoping to create, and the energy that you're hoping to transform, to bring to the mix. Now look at these two oracle cards with the additional information. You've got celebration and you've got the end. And isn't that interesting? The celebration comes first. Even in the numbers of the cards, you've got 40 and then 43. So it's almost like the end follows the celebration. Also, just because I was drawn to look at how the cards follow in energies, but also in numbers and placement, Spirit just drew me to the 43. Now in numerology, that becomes a 7. And we are working a 7 year this year, 2023. That means this energy, what you are trying to create, I think the start of it is this week, and then it emanates through the year. Now for you, those of you that have stumbled across this reading and are maybe looking at it in 2024 or maybe at the end of 2023, this is a call to see what you did in 2023, because there's a guide there, there's something showing you how you moved forward, how your authenticity helped you. So you've got celebration, and look at this card. It's almost like you're walking into like a party that's for you. This is like surprise. And I feel this this hope card is kind of this surprise, like you hope. When you give to yourself, you invite the universe to give to you also. This is that energy. This is build it and they will come. This is people celebrating you. Or this is you celebrating what has come to you. So it can work any which way. And I feel with this celebration card in your reading, pole number 1, I think celebrating yourself, what you're trying to do. And what I mean by that, or what Spirit means by that, is instead of just looking at the hard work, because it's going to be hard work. Whenever we're trying to create something, there is work and action involved. I feel that it's almost like Spirit saying to you, focus on celebrating every milestone instead of looking at all the milestones that are ahead of you. Because I feel there's so much unknown that if you focus on all the steps ahead of you, I feel like you're going to get a little bit lost. If you go on your journey and allow things to be. So basically, I think what Spirit's trying to say here, or the way the information, how it's coming to me, is basically concentrate on what you're trying to do. Concentrate on your creation. Concentrate on your energy. The bowerbird, yes, his end goal is to attract the female bowerbird. But when he's building his nest, he's just concentrating on making it the most beautiful space that he feels is beautiful. Yes, it can be accepted or rejected. He can be accepted or rejected. But that potential of rejection doesn't stop him. He does it because of the potential to succeed, and that is this celebration. I feel, pole number 1, that along the journey you're going to have these moments where things fall into place, these moments where things come to you, these moments where you're like, oh, I hoped for that and now look what I've got. And it can be better than you hoped for, or it can be what you hoped for. But either way, I think the success comes throughout the journey, and therefore it keeps you going. And this End card, I feel that this End card is kind of this success. There'll be little successes along the way, but they're not the end of the journey. I feel, pole number one, this is a big journey for you, because this, the End card, I'm seeing it like it's not the end till you get to the end, and you're still traveling here. You're not at the end. So there's a sense that, you know, like the first celebration, that's not as far as you're going. The next little milestone, that's not as far as you're going. I think Spirit is really trying to say to you, pole number one, that it's Spirit's way of showing you encouragement. It's Spirit's way of showing you that you're on track, showing you keep going, my friends. And that is what makes me feel that this is quite a long journey. And I'm not talking months, I really feel we're talking years here. So I'm kind of looking at this 4 and 3, and I'm thinking 3 to 4 years. You got the 4 here, maybe 4 years. So it's a long journey, and on these long journeys, Spirit brings us what we need in order to continue the journey, basically. So it's not like these transit journeys that can be massively impactful, painful. I want to use the word shocking, so Spirit has given me the word shocking, that transit us from one space to another or one direction to another, realigns us. They tend to be short, quite difficult, or definitely memorable, and sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a definitely not a good way, but they're short, so they tend to be short and sharp, and we tend to not, we're being realigned, so we tend not to have that forward movement where we have these wins along the way. But you're having these wins along the way, so I feel like every celebration, every milestone, because when you give to yourself, you invite the universe to give to you. And I think this is going to be a journey of really, you're going to be giving, but you're going to be giving from a place that it feeds you, and that just then feeds out into the world or into your environment or your job or whatever you're doing. And from that energy, you will receive. The end is far into the future. The end is not when you receive a little thing. And the reason why I'm seeing that is because you've got this 9 of Pentacles in the middle of your reading. And I'm seeing this 9 of Pentacles as achievement. This is success. This is abundance. This is not making do with little. Look at her. She's richly dressed. The grapes signify abundance. The coins simplify abundance, and generally in resources, like tangible resources. So there is a sense of a life of ease, but not in a I'm doing nothing way. In a way that I kind of feel this card is saying to you, pole number one, your energy is where you're pleasing yourself in what you are doing, in the way that you are giving, and it's so fruitful. And you will receive a lot on this journey. And every time you receive, that's not the end. It's just to kind of go, wow, look at where I am. And it's to give you that hope, that energy, that momentum to keep going, because the King of Wands is here. And I feel with the King of Wands here, it's you've gotten to a place, pole number one, where you're being of service. You're actually reaching people. You're actually doing something for those around you, for your community, for the world, in whatever way that is. But generally it's through your work. And that doesn't have to be paid work. It can be putting your passion out there. It can be volunteer work. But it's so aligned with your calling, your purpose, your passions, what you love doing. And the King has received throughout the journey of the court cards everything that he needed in order to be able to be of service in a way that fulfills his soul, his journey of his calling and his purpose. And I think that's why it's a long journey. It's already been, I feel, a fairly long journey to get here, pole number one. And I feel along that journey, I think what you've been receiving is probably more, because of this is so connected with your soul and your calling. I feel it's been like a passion project, and your passion has kept you going more so than any success that you've received. So I feel for you a lot. This has been personal growth, personal development, putting things out there, and maybe not receiving a lot of interest. I don't feel like you've been receiving income or resources to really keep you going. You kept going out of pure passion and drive, what this thing has been pulling you, your soul, your calling has been pulling you towards. And now you find yourself in this energy of the King, where your passion has kept you going, and that has taught you so much about yourself. And are feeling like the inner work is done now, and your work, because this is the King and the King is of service, so the King puts out into the world. And I feel, pole number one, you've already been putting things out in the world, but now you're doing it from a place of, I want to say, the power, because the Kings are the kind of power court card, not in a controlling kind of way, but just in that they have the knowledge, the confidence, they have everything that it takes to really put things out there. And just even in that energy, I just feel that the King is, you notice a king. A king is, in a sense, a provider for his country, his village, whatever his kingdom is. And there's this sense that, he's richly rewarded for that. They're rich. Kings are rich. And I'm not saying that you're going to be rich in money, though I feel the money is definitely coming in, pole number one. But I think you're going to be rich in resources. You're going to be rich in what you need to keep you going, because I think this next stage of your journey is one about, I feel like you're transforming whatever this is into like paid work, or you're receiving something in order that helps you keep going with this. So Spirit's just given me an example. So if this doesn't become paid work, you might meet a partner, like a romantic relationship or a business partner that is affluent enough to be able to support you while you do this. Or you might move back closer to family and they are in a position to support you. So it's that kind of thing. So it can work either way. Now, we end the reading with the Two of Pentacles, and this is quite interesting energy in this reading, because I feel the whole reading is very balanced, very working in the now towards the future. But I feel the reading is balanced, and the Two of Pentacles is a card that actually says things are not in balance. There are choices and there are doubts in how to make those choices. There is fears that come from this card. There is heightened emotions because of a not knowing what to do. And I feel this Two of Pentacles is here. And I almost feel like, you know, this could be like, you know, placed somewhere else as a kind of like, hey, pole number one, just as a little afterthought, just as a little tidbit, if you like, just as a little heads up, but just in brackets somewhere, there's this Two of Pentacles. And that Spirit's saying, there's a lot of hope in you. And when we hope for something, it doesn't mean it's a given. And if in actual fact, if we are hoping for something, it means it's not tangible yet. We don't know if we're actually going to achieve this or not. And I feel this Two of Pentacles is just a reminder, pole number one, that all through this journey, it's not going to be just smooth sailing all the way. Like, there are rocks here, like the passage is kind of wide here and then it narrows, and so there can be fear of, you know, heading aside and getting stuck, or like, oh gosh, you know, it's gotten a bit like, I mean, look at this, is a bit of a waterfall that has come down, so it feels a little bit dangerous, a little bit like, oh gosh, am I actually going to make it? Spirit is saying that's part of the journey. To have doubts, pole number one, to feel fear, pole number one, is the contrast of the excitement and the trust and the going for it anyway, that little bit of, I'm going to do this. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I'm going to try. Because without the contrast, there'd be no celebration. And I think more and more we're actually going to start seeing those little road bumps, the fear, the wrong turns, the challenges along the way as almost like a rite of passage to then see, oh, look at what I achieved. It wasn't easy, so it makes the celebration all the more beautiful. And that's what this Two of Pentacles is here. There'll be times of doubt. There'll be times of challenge. There might be times where you lose hope. But I feel this is just a two. And in the scheme of things, I think they're going to be smaller, insignificant things, or they might just catch you off guard and make you go, oh my gosh, I can't, I'm too scared, I don't know what to do. But this will pass very quickly, because I think something will happen, something will come, something will be said, and you'll move past this energy very, very quickly. Oh, pole number one, what a beautiful journey you are on. You have been on, even though I don't feel it's felt that beautiful, because it was a lot of inner work to get you to this King of Wands. But what a journey in front of you. I'm going to leave you with those messages. Love, light and blessings, my friends. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number two. Welcome, welcome, my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have the Six of Swords, the Six of Cups and the Ten of Swords. Additional messages, we have graduation and we have birth. Wow, I like this energy. Now your overall energy is Garden of Love and Bloom. Oh, I love that. Two images, like two garden kind of metaphors. Now pole number 2. Spirit just said to me, tell them that this reading is good. So I don't know if some of you are looking at these cards going, yeah, I don't want to listen to this reading. I don't need bad news. Spirit's saying this reading is actually really good. And I know it looks a little bit like, ugh, but Spirit's actually asking me to start with the tarot. So my friends, you've got the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is this beautiful energy of moving away from drama, heightened emotions, unbalance, you know, on a boat. The more choppy the waters, the more, you know, unbalanced we are. And it's funny because just as I said that, Spirit said to me seasickness. So some of you, I feel, are moving away from maybe ill health or maybe low energies. And it's Spirit is saying to me, if that is the case for you, pole number 2, the energies that you were in were not good for you. So in order, like moving away from the drama and the angst and the tension, maybe working too much, into these more tranquil waters is actually going to improve your health. Is you're moving away from bad health as you move away from all the things that no longer serve you, that you no longer want in your life. And this can be, Spirit's actually showing me, this can be a job that just demands too much of you. You might have thrived in that environment in the past, but now it's not energizing you like it used to. It's taking more from you than it's giving back. This could be those people that just zap your energy. You know, you spend an afternoon with them and you have to go home and lie down because they've just drained you. And Spirit is showing me that it's just limiting your time. So instead of going out for lunch with these people, go out for a coffee. So I don't feel that all of you will be cutting these things out of your life. With your jobs, you might be going down to part-time. You might be asking for you might stay with the same company, but you might ask for a different job description. You know, you might no longer do the job that you're doing. You might actually, you know, do something else that is less demanding or less, because I feel whatever this is, it stresses you. And I've really I keep getting seasickness with these waves, these choppy waters that make us feel a bit, ooh. And I'm feeling that is what is making you sick, if you have been unwell. So there's a sense here of Spirit and everything, like your core instincts is moving you towards more calm, more peace, more serenity. And I really feel it's in that space, pole number 2, that you find joy again. This Six of Cups is very joy-filled. You know, this is childlike joy and wonder. And I feel that in this choppy water, you've been, and I'm back to the metaphor, but in this choppy water, all your focus is in keeping the boat balanced and keeping the boat where you need it to be pointing, and that you don't have time to look around you. You don't have time to enjoy your life. It's really that head down concentration to keep everything in order, to keep yourself traveling in the direction that you need to be traveling in. And so you've lost sight of what makes you happy. You've lost the time to do things that bring you joy. And I feel in moving towards these calmer waters, it just opens you up to go, oh wow, do you know, I haven't gardened in the longest time. I really want to plant. I want to, you know, you might be thinking, oh, I'm going to put in a vegetable patch, and it just brings you so much joy. And it's work, but suddenly you have the energy for it. You go to bed at night and you're tired, but it's that good tired that makes you sleep really well. You might find that there's a craft that you might want to do, and you think, oh gosh, this makes me so happy. There's a sense here of joy and fulfillment coming back to you. You rediscovering things that made you happy. By limiting your time with those people that zap your energy, maybe you're making more time for these people that actually really bring you joy, and you could spend hours in their company and you're not drained or tired. You might find you go home and you clean and you tidy and you cook and you feel really good. And the 10 of Swords here, pole number 2 for you, is the end of a way of life for you. This is ending the way that you lived your life, and completely. Now, I really did see at the beginning with this 6 of Swords that you might not be leaving your job. You might not be leaving, you know, completely cutting out the people in your life that drain you. It could be your family that drain you. It can be your partner or your children that drain you. And I'm not saying that you're going to get rid of them, but I think in this energy, the relationships shift. You'll either be able to limit your interaction with them and therefore finding more joy when you do catch up with them, or you moving to calmer waters, not maybe buying into the dramas, not being so busy, having this beautiful energy that comes to you from finding fulfillment in something. It brings an end to what was troubling you. So if your partner is draining you, just moving away from the drama, or maybe your partner's draining you, but by moving away from the job that you do, lessening your hours, finding more joy for you in yourself, suddenly your partner's no longer draining. It's that kind of energy. The shift in you is what brings the end. And that's why I'm kind of not really feeling that you're changing a lot in your life. I feel, well, it is changing things because you are embracing things that you love. You're slowing down on the things that just take up so much of your headspace and your energy, and that constant frantic kind of like, oh, and you're swapping that out for energy that you really love. So in a way, pole number 2, I feel like you're slowing down in a way, or you're shifting out of one gear into another that really just suits where you are right now. And that brings an end. And I feel because of these swords are in him, I feel that brings an end to you being unwell, or this lack of energy, or constantly feeling like you've got to give 100% when your energy levels are 30%, and you're always deficit in some way. And then Spirit's drawing me to the Oracle, to this graduation. And the 28 numerology comes to a 10, so that this is another 10. And this graduation, when we graduate, means we've finished a course, and we passed. We are graduating, and the studies are done. We move forward with what we've learned. That's what this 10 of Swords is. This graduation just shows you, pole number 2, that this was a lesson. This journey was full of lessons for you. It was one of those journeys that we could almost call a transit, where it gets you from one space to another. It shifts you from one direction to another. It realigns you. And, you know, this graduation, when we graduate, we're moved forward, aren't we? I mean, we might be moved forward to further studies. We can be moved forward to then having a job in that field. But there's always a sense of an ending and a moving forward. And that is what this journey has brought you. This understanding, this learning about yourself, the additional wisdom and knowledge that you gained about your journey kind of changes you and changes your life forever. And it's moving forward in a different way. Now, look, you've got the 2 10s, and then you've got the birth, the 1. You know, and 10 in numerology is then reduced to a 1, because in numerology the 9 is the completion card, the end card, whereas in tarot it's the 10. And here's the birth. So I feel this is Spirit showing you that even though, because I did get the message very clearly that a lot of you probably won't be completely cutting something out from your life. It's going to be altered in a certain way. So if it was a job, you might move to a different department. You might reduce your hours, go to part-time. You know, if it's friends or colleagues or things like that that cause you this drain of energy, well, if you go part-time, you'll see them less. And if they're friends, you'll see them less. You'll catch up for a coffee instead of a whole afternoon, a lunch and an afternoon or something like that. So you'll limit the interaction with them. And there's also a sense that your change in energy will actually affect these relationships as well. So for some of you, it's just your change of energy that changes the relationship. So you might find that your relationship with your children, your partner, your family, your friends, your colleagues might actually deepen and improve because of this. And I feel these cards bring us to the these cards bring us to the graduation. And I think this birth is a little bit of a future insight for you. It's Spirit kind of saying to you, pole number 2, it's not the end. You've graduated. So that's a milestone. And this learning, this understanding more deeply yourself and what fuels you, what brings you joy, what fulfills you, is all leading to the birth of a new you, a new life, a new something, a new direction. Thank you, Spirit. So for all of you, the easiest way to say this, Spirit is saying, is it's all leading to the birth of a new direction. Because it will mean different things to everybody. Now, Spirit's also guiding me to this garden. You've got Garden of Love. It's like this 6 of Cups, which is beautiful, beautiful energy. Like there's flowers in the cups. And then you've got bloom. So I feel that this is beautiful. This is blossoming for you. This is you blossoming. And I feel this birth card is a little bit in the future. Because I don't feel like you've reached the graduation. Like that's where you're coming to. Because I feel that's why Spirit started me with the tarot. Because I feel you're in this energy of moving away. Understanding what it is that fulfills you. And then the end will come. So this is almost now. Your now. This is your near future. And this is what follows this. So not that far ahead either. So it's near future and then a little bit further future. But I don't feel that these 2 cards are that far away. This is more, when you reach this, you're closer to the end than you are to the beginning, because there's 6s. And this is a 6 as well. So I feel like you're very close to the 10. You're closer to the end of this journey than the beginning one. You're closer to your graduation than you are to the not understanding what is working for you. Because you're already in the moving stage. Moving away from. And in order for you to move away, pole number 2, you've got to understand what you're moving away from. And when you understand what you need to move away for your health, your benefit, your joy, you make space to then allow things to come in that bring you fulfillment and joy. And that leads to the end and the graduation of that journey, which then starts you off on a complete new one. This is birth. So this is the birth of a new idea, a new way of living, a new understanding of yourself, but it changes things in your tangible world. You know, the birth of a child, it's a change for the child, but it's also a change for the parents. You know, those parents, their life will change with the child in it, and that child can never go back to the womb. You know, it is now part of this world, if you like. So, and it makes me feel like it's a big journey. You know, it's going to be one of those ones that really moves you forward. Now, it's interesting because Spirit has got me to finish with the overall energy. So the first overall energy is Garden of Love. And it says, all wishes find fulfillment in time. Your faithful heart will be rewarded as your hopes blossom into fullness like flowers in a divine garden. And the affirmation is, I tend to my dreams and trust in divine timing. And this is like Spirit saying, this is what you're coming to understand. You know, your journey to where you find yourself now, where you have to make changes, where you're realizing, oh, do you know what, this environment has become not a place that nurtures me anymore. It's a place that takes from me and leaves me depleted. And there's a sense that in this environment, you might be giving, or that's the way it might feel. And there's nothing coming back for you. And there's a sense that this was a learning curve. This was really, like, we go through those times in our life where it really is all about the lessons. And when we get to the end, if we are open enough, we can see the graduation. We can see when we had the aha moment and we understood where spirit, our higher self, was guiding us, what we were needing to see, needing to learn in order to move past that. And there's a sense here that, you know, because this is children, this can signify your childhood. So there's a sense here, pole number 2, there might have been wishes and dreams and hopes that you put on the back burner because suddenly your life got so real, if you like, that you had no time for anything else. You know, the dream job that fueled you, that kind of, it was just stressful enough that it kept you motivated, it was exciting. Suddenly you have moved past that. There's a lesson in that, and you've moved past it. And now it's not exciting anymore. It's a drain on your energies. It's just stressful. And some of you might be going back to a dream that you had as a child, or when you were younger, or before life kind of grabbed you and just took you on this learning curve. And it says, I tend to my dreams and trust in divine timing. That's this energy. That's realizing, oh my gosh, I love doing this. This really fulfills me. And you're tending to it because you love it. There's no ulterior motive in it. It's just because you love it and you feel fueled by it. And there's a sense here that spirit is saying, do what you love and then trust that all wishes will be fulfilled in time, because trust divine timing. Things will start to happen and come to you in the right space. Your faithful heart will be rewarded as your hopes blossom into fullness like flowers in a divine garden. It takes time. You know, it takes time from the birth to getting to an adulthood. It takes time for a flower seed to sprout and then grow and then bloom. So there is a sense here of, and this is where I'm getting this long new journey in front of you. But it's beautiful. It is beautiful because you've got all this blossoming and this, all wishes find fulfillment in time. That's your dreams and wishes that I think you've put on the back burner that are going to develop, but with time. So give yourself time. And then we finish your reading with the other overall energy, which is bloom. And it says, your heart attracts all the support you need from the universe. Love yourself and you will see your intentions blossom into life. The affirmation is, my faith seeds and cultivates the beautiful garden of my life. I mean, could you get anything? Like it says here, your faithful heart will be rewarded as your hopes blossom into fullness like flowers in a divine garden. And this says, love yourself and you will see your intentions blossom into life. My faith your faithful heart, your trust, seeds and cultivates the beautiful garden of my life. Suddenly where your life seemed a little bit, the word that came to me is bleak, but Spirit's just corrected me with bland. When our life becomes bland, it's because we're not doing what we love. We don't feel fulfilled. But in this energy, you're doing what you love. And therefore you attract what you need in order to keep doing what you love. And there's, with both cards, there's a sense of, and even with this birth card, I find these cards very much in alignment. Because even with this birth card, you know, when a child is born, it just trusts that its needs will be met. It doesn't actually know for certain if they will be. It trusts that it will be. And with this garden of love and bloom, this is Spirit saying, you will be. You will be supported and nourished and held and guided. And give it time. Give it space to develop. Because I feel through this birth, there's this graduation. Okay, so you graduated, my friends, and you go out and get a job. But sometimes the real life, the real world jobs and what we've studied for, there's a little discrepancy in it. So there is a time of further learning. There's a time of integrating. Every company has a slightly different way of doing things. If this is love or family, you know, it takes time to learn to live with a new partner, or you know, share space and share ideas and build those boundaries that shows everyone what we require, and they will show us what they require, and then we kind of work with that. So there is this time of additional learning, additional bringing things together. And it's almost like Spirit is saying, pole number 2, that just allow yourself to go with it. Know that there is additional learning. Know there is an adjustment periods. Thank you, Spirit. And don't allow those adjustment times, those adjustment periods, to make you think you're not on the right path, to make you think that this is not going to happen. There's a sense here of trusting in divine timing and just following your heart and allowing your calling, your purpose, your passions, doing what you love to guide you forward on this journey. Oh my gosh, pole number 2, Spirit wasn't wrong when he said don't think this reading is going to be bad. Don't not listen to it, because it is beautiful. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love, light and blessings, pole number 2. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 3. Welcome, my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. We have the 7 of Pentacles, we have the 4 of Cups, and we have the 9 of Swords. Additional messages, we have Underworld, and we have Celestial Realm. The overall energy for this week is Faith and Summer House. So let's have a look here at pole number 3. So the first overall energy in your reading is faith. A hopeful heart overflows with light. Faith illuminates the wonder of your unfolding path. And the affirmation is, I follow the spiritual spark in my heart. And I feel with the other cards here, I feel that's what you're not doing, pole number 3. So I feel there's a sense here of realignment. There's a sense that you're being called, pole number 3. You're being shown a different way. You're changing your mind on things. I feel you're opening yourself up to something different. And I feel that that is having a very fear-based reaction in you. I feel like you're receiving a calling, pole number 3. Starting to get the idea of it. Or maybe you're just starting to feel drawn in a direction and you have no idea why. Like there's just this idea that's popped in your head, and to you right at this moment, it probably feels like it's bordering on the ridiculous. Your card says faith. A hopeful heart overflows with light. Faith illuminates the wonder of your unfolding path. I follow the spiritual spark in my heart. And I think that's all it is at the moment. There's this spark that has happened in your heart. And when you go into a daydream, sometimes just before you fall asleep, first thing when you wake up, there's this sense that whenever your mind is not like really active, and this comes back to you, this spark in your heart kind of goes, hello, very quietly. And you feel drawn to it. I want to say pole number 3, you feel very drawn to it. Now this card says faith, sorry. Oh, isn't that interesting? My brain said faith and my mouth said fate. This is fated. And this requires faith. Because when something is fated, you have personal choice. You have personal liberty. You have freedom to choose. So how you get there is up to you. But trust that the outcome is where you'll end up just the same. So this path, because it says faith illuminates the wonder of your unfolding path. And I feel like for your pole number 3, I don't even know that it has started to unfold. Those spirits saying when you feel that spark in your heart, when you get that idea or just this download, that's the start of your path. And at the moment, I feel it's unfolding in a way that you're going, this is ridiculous. That's what the tarot is here, to show you where your mind has taken the spark that you felt in your heart, that fell in your heart. Thank you, Spirit. Now your other overall energy is summer house. And the card says, play a fresh surge of creative and play and, oh sorry, I missed the A and then I thought this doesn't make sense. Play and a fresh surge of creative energy will bring joy, supportive friends, and exciting prospects into your world. And the affirmation is, I embrace my opportunities for sacred play. And I'm wondering if this is why you feel it's silly. This is talking about play and creative energy. And, you know, I embrace my opportunities for sacred play. So I'm feeling for you, pole number 3, you might not feel this is a tangible, real world possibility. I'm wondering if you're feeling, well, you know, maybe it's good for a 17-year-old, but, you know, I'm in my 30s or 40s or whatever, and I've got responsibilities. Spirit wants you to focus on fresh surge of creative energy. And I think this is why the spark in your heart has caught your attention. Because I feel it has brought a fresh surge of energy and it feels creative. If you could coax your mind, ask your mind, how could we look at this creatively? Instead of looking at how ridiculous it is, maybe ask your mind to just daydream. Ask your mind, okay then, in the perfect world, and some of you might go, well, if I won lotto, how would I do this? Or, okay then, well, if I lived here or there or had this or that. Let's entertain this spark. And I feel that in doing so, I feel like this creative energy is going to blossom in you. Because what is a new idea? A new idea is nothing if we don't do anything with it. You know, if somebody had the idea of, I don't know, creating a washing machine, and it just went, oh yeah, that seems interesting in theory, oh yeah, and didn't actually physically go, well, okay, let's daydream about this. Okay, what would it look like? What could it look like? What would it, do you know what I mean? And then that starts the creative process. And then every time you do that, it becomes more and more refined. It becomes, you'll get to a point where you actually see it literally being a possibility. Because you take that spark from the infinite, the intangible, and as you play with it, that's what Spirit's telling me. As you play with it, you bring it more and more down to earth. Because the spark comes from our soul. You know, our soul sees that spark. Our soul gives us that spark, if you like. And then it's in allowing our body and our mind to play with it, because our body and mind are of this tangible world. That's how we create it. If it stays in our soul, it's not created in this physical world. We need our mind and our body to physically create it in the world. And that's why all aspects of ourself working together really makes us kind of unstoppable. And I think, I really feel, pole number 3, that's where you're headed. So let's go to this tarot that I touched on a little bit earlier. This 7 of Pentacles has got you looking not only at where you are, what you're doing now, because I feel that in order for this spark to have come through, generally there's something in our life that is not gelling very well, or we're longing for something else. And that, to follow the spiritual spark in your heart, you already have to be able to tap into your heart. You have to be able to tap into your soul. And so this is your soul bringing you that, you know, there's nothing wrong with my life, or maybe there are things that are wrong with your life, pole number 3. But there's this sense of, there's got to be more. Or what if I wanted more? What if I wanted something different? So this 7 of Pentacles, I'm seeing it as a lot of contemplation. And I feel that you're contemplating your life that you find yourself in right now. And also you're contemplating this idea, this download that has come to you, this awakening that has happened in you. And I feel that there's a sense of, because it doesn't feel like the answer you were looking for. Because it doesn't feel tangible. It doesn't feel like you can do anything with it. So there's this sense of, well, at least I'm kind of seeing increase in what I'm doing. So at least that's, you know, I'm still doing something. And there is a real sense here, pole number 3, that I think for the next little while, you're going to keep doing what you're doing. And that is perfectly fine. Because look, my friends, with my readings now, you know, if somebody just met me now and didn't know me, they'd be like, oh yeah, well look, you just got your calling and off you went. I was like, no, it took me nearly 4 years to actually, from the time I got the download that I was going to do tarot readings to actually doing my YouTube channel. That's how long it took me. Because when this is a true unfolding of your path, when this is a soul calling, you can't even begin to put it into practical terms, even though there are others that might be doing what you want to do. I mean, there's thousands of tarot readers out there. So I could see that it could be done. But I saw them as having a gift that I did not have. And it's that kind of energy that keeps us going, okay. And yes, I could daydream about it, and I could fantasize and see myself doing it, but it felt more like a fantasy. And so I kept doing what I was doing. And the reason why we stay here is because there's a few reasons Spirit's saying to me. So pole number 3, there's a lack of trust, which I'm seeing in this 4 of Cups. I'm seeing a lack of trust, a lack of knowledge or knowing what to do. So not even knowing where to begin. Because when I got this calling, sure, I'd had a few tarot readings in my life, but they were kind of, you know, at fairs and things like that. I wasn't even watching them on YouTube or anything. So I wasn't even in that world. I had dabbled in it younger, but more for fun, and I think just because I needed hope, or I was looking for direction. I needed answers. But when I didn't need answers, I didn't think about it. And so there's trusting, the ability to actually do it, and also possibly, not for all of you, but for the majority of you, it's like, oh my gosh, if I tell this to people, what are they going to think? And real life needs and commitments. So it can be all four. I know for me it was all four. For some of you, it can just be one or just a few of those things, or there can be something completely different that I have not even thought of. But there's this sense here that it's like, okay, this is well and good, but how will I pay my bills? I don't even know how to start. And what I have right now is really not bad. Like, it might not fulfill me. I might be a little bit over it. I might be secretly wanting change, but not that. This is a pie in the sky. And I feel pole number 3, it's because all those reasons is just fear. And that's what this 9 of Swords is. It's just fear that makes you go, I can't. And Spirit basically showing me with the tarot here that the spark has just happened, my friends, before you discard it and bury it again, because I feel that this spark might have sparked previously. Months ago, years ago, but Spirit is saying to me, you're not one where you are right now to be able to take that step. Spirit is not saying that you're doing this right now. Spirit's just called me back to this summer house. It says play and a fresh surge of creative energy will bring joy, supportive friends and exciting prospects into your world. Now, Spirit drew me to this card to say, you're just at the stage of playing with it. It's like children when they play. They might play at being a teacher, or they might play at being a doctor, or they might play at being a singer. They're just playing. They're not going to become that by playing it. They're just opening themselves up to go, oh, I like this. This is fun. Or, you know, some of them later become those things. And there's a sense here that play with the idea. That's the stage that you're in, pole number 3. You're just playing with ideas. And this spark will have you thinking of different ideas. And there's a sense here of don't get caught up of whether they're doable or not. Every time you play, every time you allow yourself to daydream about this spark, don't allow it to turn into this 9 of Swords where you're going, I can't do that. Okay, I can daydream about it, but like physically right now, I can't do that. Why am I even wasting my time? And this has you kind of very much your hands in your head in your hands. And I feel it makes you feel a little bit desperate. It makes you feel definitely lost. And like, what? Why am I contemplating this? Why am I being stupid? And I feel this spark is almost having the counterproductive effect that Spirit would have loved. This spark was supposed to open you up. And if anything, this spark has closed you off. And I feel that's where this underworld is. Because sometimes our journey, our soul calling, has to bring us down to the depth of ourselves to show us things that we need to heal. It's in the learning. It's in the understanding of ourselves. It's in those journeys that realign us with who we are, or initially show us who we are. Help us to heal the baggage that we carry around with us, that transform us into the person that we can be, that can bring this spiritual spark to the tangible world. So this is a big journey, pole number 3, because first you must become the person that can actually make this dream happen. So there's shadow work first. There's aspects of yourself that you need to understand and see. And for some of you, those aspects is seeing your connection to this celestial realm. Now, coming back to my story, I never ever once thought that I would channel messages. Not ever. It's literally, as I sat down to do my first video, that I sat down to do a practice run to check the camera and to check what it would look like, and I had no expectation of I'm actually doing my first YouTube video. I thought to myself, I'm doing a practice run. And it was a pick a card, and it flowed. One reading turned into the 4. And I finished and went, what the hell just happened? Because I don't know that that was me. And it's only afterwards when I was talking to people that I said, you know, I think I channeled. And I don't even know if I used the word channeled initially. I was like, I think it was just like spirit just took over, and but the messages, I don't know where the messages came from. And I think that's where you're headed. It's almost you find your abilities as you find yourself. You find your connection with something higher, something deeper and bigger than you. And I'm not saying that you're all going to start channeling, but we all have that ability. It's within us all. But your gift might draw you in a different direction. But this underworld, this discovering you, and notice, I want you to notice that you're going down to the light, not down to the dark. It may feel like looking at ourselves, shining a spotlight on all aspects of ourselves, discovering and uncovering who we are and what we want and what our values and our beliefs are. It's a light. It brings us to the light, not the dark. And that's why sometimes I feel a little bit, to me, it feels a little bit wrong to say shadow work, because I feel shadow work makes us feel we're going to the depth of the darkness. Whereas I feel shadow work is befitting if we look at it as in we're going to the aspects of ourselves that we have hidden, that we don't want to look at. And look at this celestial realm. You are accessing the celestial realm. You are accessing those aspects of yourself that are bigger than your mind and body. And when we see our connection to both our physical mind and body and to the all that is, and when we tap into what all that means, how a physical body can limit us, how a physical mind can limit us, but how we need the physical body and the physical mind in order to manifest anything in this real world, we learn to appreciate them. We see their limits, but we see also that without them, there's something missing. Same with the celestial world. the intangible world, our soul. It brings this limitlessness, this unlimited energy to us. Our soul is unlimited. And yet at the same time, as limited beings in this tangible world, it's hard to see how can we bring those hopes and dreams, the sparks that come up in us, how to bring them to the world. But we need both. I think without the spiritual spark, the world would be a bit boring. And without the tangible aspects, our body and mind, the spiritual world could never manifest anything in this plane of reality. It's quite a deep reading, pole number 3. So don't feel that you are unawakened or unenlightened, because just to get a reading like this at this level, you're not up here somewhere. You've already started this. I just don't think that you realize it. I don't think that you realize how much you've already changed. I don't think you realize how much you're actually listening to this spark. And I think that's why you've got these kind of cards. I think it's because you are really paying attention to this spark. It's really, you've allowed it to get hold of you. And that's why it's messing a bit with your mind. That's why it's kind of got you a little bit like, well, I don't know how to bring this into the world. So there's frustration and there's a little bit of anger of spirit. Why did you bring me this? So there's already a level of understanding that this has come from a higher perspective, a higher plane. So pole number 3, in order to already be there, you've already started this discovery of who you are, what makes you all up, what your soul is calling you towards. And you're just going to grow from there, but this is a slow process. But I'm wondering if there's something this week that happens that, yes, there'll still be all this energy of doubt and worry and just disbelief, lack of trust. But I feel amongst this energy, you're going to have times where you just think, oh my gosh, if I could do this, it would be unbelievable. And that's the spark that blossoms a little bit. That's the spark that grows a little bit. And then before we know it, and like I said, it can take years, my friends, years. And before we know it, we've got a furnace inside of us and we're just going towards it regardless of anything. It is stronger than us and it becomes so real to us, such a tangible part of ourselves that we go for it. Oh, beautiful reading, my friends. What a place to be in. Not the most easiest of places, but that's where all the potential starts, in that little spark that we fuel and we allow to grow. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love, light and blessings, pole number 3. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 4. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have the Queen of Wands, we have the 3 of Cups, and we have the 6 of Wands. Queen of Wands, 3 of Cups, 6 of Wands. Wow, the tarot is certainly beautiful energy. We have additional messages with exit and independence. Wow. And overall energy, we have wild things and we have dream tree. This is interesting. Okay, my friends, let's start with this wild things You wild things, my pole number 4. Let's see what messages Spirit has for you. I'm just even seeing this horse galloping off, you know, it's like I'm just getting that song in my head as well, Wild Things, You Make My Heart Sing. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so Wild Things, and the card says, just get that to focus, you have grown. Your soul is ready for something new. There are wonderful worlds, curious creatures, and sacred stories calling you. And the affirmation is, it is the right time to explore new territory. Wow, pole number 4. Time to move. And this is not talking about changing companies, but keeping the same job, you know, keeping the same, doing the same work. This is real change. So those of you that are single, you might meet someone from a different nationality, completely different culture. You might go from being married to single. You might go from being single to, you know, deeply committed relationship. You might go from working to retirement, or you might come out of retirement. You might be turning a hobby into a business. You might be giving up your profession to go back to studies. This is change, complete change. There are wonderful worlds, curious creatures, and sacred stories calling you. And I feel basically pole number 4, that's saying that it's what you are moving towards is out of the ordinary for you. It is the right time to explore new territory, something completely new. So my friend, something completely out of your comfort zone. You know, did you picture your life going right? Well, guess what, my friends, you're heading left. You know, you're heading north, you're heading south. You know, you thought you were heading to the beach. Well, guess what, you're heading to the mountains. It's that, it is that energy. And there's this sense of allow this wild, almost like rebellious energy to take over you. I think those that know you are going to be like, oh my God, you're so wild and free. There's this sense of people looking at you and going, oh wow. There's a real wow factor here. I'm so excited for you. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And the first sentence, you have grown. And do you know pole number 4? That's that inner work that we do. That's those journeys that just take us through experiences that enable, allow, create space for us to grow, to change, to learn, to remember who and what we really are. So I really feel that your past journey could have been quite tedious, my friends. Could have, you know, those journeys that I'm talking about, where it's just almost like every experience that you're having is just like another lesson that teaches you something about yourself, that teaches you to look deeper within yourself. So you've grown, you've opened, you've evolved, and now you're ready to just explore what this world is like as this new you. And I really feel that your likes and dislikes, your fears are really different. They're what once held you back doesn't at all anymore. What once would have filled you with fear, now it's probably just a little bit of nerves. And I'm laughing because I just got this image. Spirit just gave me this image of this person on a roller coaster holding on to their hats, and Spirit's going, hold on to your hats, my friends. It's this roller coaster, but not in the sense that it's going to be all over the place and scary. It's going to be exhilarating. It's going to make you kind of like, woohoo, you know. I don't know if I was on a roller coaster, I don't know if I'd be woohooing or ah. But there's a sense of both. But even the scary bits are just going to be exciting and exhilarating. Wow. Let's have a look at the image on this card. Look at this. Actually, there's a sense of peace in here, isn't there? There's a sense of, what can I find? Curiosity. And I mean, look at these little creatures here. And their little wings. You know, they make believe. They're not real. But it is these curious creatures. And I think, you know, the curious creatures, we are curious creatures. And when we step outside of ourselves, when we are authentic, we're different. We let our inner light shine through. And I feel that's what brings energies together. That's what brings people together. And you might just look at the people that are being drawn to you now and thinking, oh, they're so odd, but I like them so much. You know, they might be really different from you, but there's a sense that your energies match. And I feel you're entering a real fun time in your life. Now you've got the Dream Tree card, and the card says, let go of worry and give the universe an opportunity to help you. The solutions want to emerge. Relax, as there are many blessings headed your way. And the affirmation is, I gift myself deep restorative rest. And I think this is Spirit basically saying to you, pole number 4, don't overthink it. If you overthink it, you're kind of going to trip yourself up. You're going to kind of be like, oh, hang on a minute, what? Like, so there's this sense of just don't worry about things. In order to be wild, you've kind of just, you've got to throw yourself out there almost before the fear can kick in, or before your mind kicks in, with all the reasons why you shouldn't do this. It's almost like let the exhilaration pull you forward. I feel like you need to leap, and before you kind of get that pull back by your mind that goes, hang on a minute, this is a bit out there, or are you really going to do that? People are watching. Or do you know what I mean? Like it might make you feel a bit ridiculous. It might make you feel like, oh, now if I do that, that's embarrassing. Or it might be like, I can't just walk up to people and start talking to them. They're just going to look at me like I'm an idiot. Do you know, it's that kind of, that's probably not the scenario at all, but it just gives you an example of how your mind might kick in and hold you back. Because pole number 4, you're exiting your present life big time. This card, Wild Things, you have grown. Your soul is ready for something new. There are wonderful worlds, curious creatures, and sacred stories calling you. And the affirmation, it is the right time to explore new territory. and you're going through it like this is like a whole new life, like a whole new portal to a whole other dimension. And it's the number 16, which in numerology becomes the number 7. And that number 7 is the number we are working this year in 2023. And I really believe, pole number 4, that if you can not worry about things, if you can just relax into everything, follow those hunches, follow that calling, follow the excitement, follow where your heart is guiding you. When you get to the end of 2023, you'll look back and think, oh my gosh, what? You are going to be nowhere where you started. And I feel for some of you, this is across the board of your whole life. For others of you, it's one aspect of your life that has completely changed. And I'm seeing the exit, that once you go through, that's it. That's your new life. Bam. None of you are going to look at your past and go, oh, I wish I hadn't have done this. Not at all. I think you don't even give your past a moment's thought. And this is fast. It's almost like, I think that's where this is definitely this is what you are being asked to embrace, wild things. But I think this is also very important, because I feel that if you can let go of worry and give the universe an opportunity to help you, the solutions will emerge. Relax, as there are many blessings headed your way. And I think this journey through to the new is like right upon you now. You have learned, you have grown. You are the one that can take this step, pole number 4. You have reached that place of knowing and understanding. All you need to do is let go. And this is going to be so fast, so fast. And it's bringing you to this independence. And this is a 5, change, real change, surprising change, new experiences, different places, different people. And the card says independence. And I feel that even if you are moving into a new relationship, that, like I mentioned earlier, or even if you are moving into something where you're working with other people, there's this sense here of your individuality that will not be compromised. There is a sense that the independence that you've gained on this journey, and with independence I mean how you see who you are, how you no longer compromise who you are. This stays with you. This new life makes you feel like you're standing on your own 2 feet. This new life, it shows you that you can nurture yourself and care for yourself and still be surrounded by others. But you no longer need others to bring you things. They're in your life because you want them to be in your life. They're not in your life because they're doing something for you. You don't have a partner because they offer security or financial support. You know, you don't have your family around you if you've headed back to your family or whatever it is, or your friends because they fill a void. You know, of course, whatever you have in your life will contribute to what you have, but they're not there to fill a purpose. They're there because you love them. You want them to be there. And that is not just people. It can be things and opportunities and places. But you are independent. You are authentic. You are exactly where you want to be. And look at this light. This light is in front of you here as you exit your old life. And look how the light is behind this bird. This is your independence comes from going through the portal. And it is exciting, but it is also an energy that is grounded, an energy that is stable. Like I feel with this independence card, I don't feel like you're wondering where your next meal is coming from. I don't feel that you're wondering, oh my gosh, okay, I've taken this leap to go to this new country now. Oh my God, you know, I have to pay rent. Where am I going to find a job? There's no lack here, no perceived lack. And yes, you still have to, I'm not saying that this is all, you know, kittens and butterflies or whatever. This is all beautiful and there's no, there is still things like, you know, let go of worry. You know, you will worry. You're still human. You've still got a, you know, this mind and this body and this tangible world that we all physically live in. So yes, you know, you might worry. There might be times where you're not relaxed. You're a bit anxious. But it says, let go of worry and give the universe an opportunity to help you. I think that help will always be there. I think you will be able to, a certain point, you'll still worry, but I think you'll say to yourself, oh, don't worry, you know, you've got this. Because I think one of the things that has really grown in you is your connection to the all that is, your trust and your faith. Not only in the intangible, in the universe will provide for me, God will provide for me, but also in your belief in yourself that you will always find a solution to your problems. You will always find a way. And the tarot reinforces that. You've got the Queen of Wands, and she's here because the wands are your fire, you know, and the fire in our belly is the things that makes us do wild things. You know, it's that fire, it's that spark, it's that, I'm just going to go out and do it. I'm going to scare myself a little bit. You know, the fire signs are very much like that, more or less. But they'll often jump in and then be like, oh well, I'm here now, make the most of it. And that kind of energy. And the Queen of Wands with her sunflower and this Ace of Wands that she's holding, it shows alignment with your calling and your purpose. It shows alignment with the universe and with your higher self. It shows that you are being guided by the sun. The sunflowers are always turning towards the sun. She's guided by the spark in her soul, her soul. Your soul is ready for something new. Your soul is bringing you on this journey. It knows the way. And the Queen, it couldn't be a better energy, because the Queen, they are the journey of the court cards, and the Queen is that aspect of feminine energy of receiving. So the Queens always know that they will receive what they need. And the Queen of Wands, she knows that she will receive what she needs in order to continue her journey in alignment with her calling and her purpose, her heart, and where her soul is drawing her. Could there be a better card for this? I mean, this card says here, let go of worry and give the universe an opportunity to help you. The solutions want to emerge. Relax, as there are many blessings headed your way. Trust, pole number 4, that in this journey, when you do start to worry or you get a little bit anxious, trust that this Queen of Energy, trust that you will always receive what you need in order to continue this journey. And that trust leads to this 3 of Cups. Now the Cups is all about our emotions and our feelings. It could be our intuition. And it speaks of fulfillment, and this is joy. The 3 of Cups is all about joy. Following your path to fulfillment, what fulfills you, pole number 4, brings tremendous joy. Because it's aligned with who you are. It's aligned with the reason why your soul came to this planet now. So this 3 of Cups is also showing me this alignment, the joy that comes from being aligned. And also when you are in alignment, everything that you need comes to you, the right people, the right opportunities. And this is soul connections. It's not big, these people are not in your life because you need them. Will they help you? Yes, of course. But they're not there because you need them. They're there because your energies were drawn to each other. And therefore there's a soul connection that runs so much deeper than a tangible transaction, if you like. But this is also help coming in. This is the blessings coming your way that help you not to be anxious and not to worry. These are the blessings coming your way from what you are aligning yourself with, what Spirit can bring for you. And ending on this 6 of Wands, pole number 4, is just saying your success, your triumph on this journey it's predestined. It's assured. Now, this 6 of Wands, this person has come from the war and they've won the war. So there's success and triumph, and then they're heading into, or they're heading back to their life, but they're different. They'll probably do different things. You know, what does a soldier do after war? When there's no war, what does a soldier do? So there's change. And I feel that this 6 of Wands is saying that your journey, and this, I think this is where this explore new territory, this wild things really comes into play, is that you're following your path. Look, he's holding the Ace of Wands as well. And I feel, look at all these Ace of Wands over here. Again, there's 5 that comes to 5. There's change and growth in that journey. Things evolve. So here you're starting off with alignment. You know that you'll receive everything you need to receive in order to move forward on your soul's calling, your soul purpose. Here is the gifts and the blessings that are headed your way that help you move forward. They're also the things that help you realign. They change you. Life changes you. So your journey then evolves and grows and changes. But it is confirmation that even though the path may change slightly, or it may change greatly, you are still on the original path. And the original path is getting you to something completely different. This is magnificent, pole number 4. This is life-changing, but this is life-changing in the sense of, you know, those being at the right place at the right time. Having those opportunities just fall on your lap. You know, suddenly finding yourself somewhere new, seeing something and going, oh, look at that apartment's for rent, and then just realizing it's well within your budget, and just suddenly going, I could move here, when it's not even been on your radar. It's that kind of energy. You know, you could be traveling for work and you meet the love of your life, and it's like, okay, bye-bye work, because I'm moving now. Do you know what? It's that kind of energy. It's, you're doing one thing and then suddenly it's like, ta-da, this light. And it's in the new, it's in the curiosity. I don't know, it's just this spark that just poof, moves you forward, but in such an amazing, amazing way. And it is fun-filled, it's exciting, which can also be quite nerve-wracking. You know, it can make you quite anxious at times. But I feel with the beautiful energy here, pole number 4, I feel you're kind of going to roll with those times where you feel scared, or where, you know, because sometimes spirit, you know, things come to us at the very last minute. You know, sometimes maybe the property that you're renting, the owners have said, oh, look, you know, oh, we're no longer going to be able to rent this. We're going to be moving back in, so you'll need to vacate. And you're searching and you're searching, and then maybe the week before you vacate, suddenly something just becomes available, and it is a dream come true. But you've kind of been on the edge of your seat before that. And I feel that Spirit saying the outcome is assured. It's triumphant. It will work out. So don't worry. Don't be anxious. Trust. But of course we're going to worry. Of course we're going to be anxious, because that, my friends, is that human part of us, isn't it? But expect real change, surprising change. Expect really different things to come in for you. You know, maybe you've always lived in a house and with a big garden, and suddenly there's going to be this magnificent apartment, and you're like, I never thought of living in an apartment, or vice versa. But it is real. It really changed. Look at this. Spirit just drew me back to this card. This is beach, and this is kind of like mountain forest. So you're really coming out of one way of life, one direction, one way of being, one way of seeing the world, into something really completely different. This is so exciting. Pole number 4, so exciting, which can be a little bit worrying sometimes. So know that, you know, you will fret sometimes. You will kind of be at the end of your seat going, oh my gosh. And just say, Spirit, you've brought me to the edge. I'm so afraid. Please show me. You know, ask Spirit for guidance and help, and ask Spirit to maybe not wait for the last minute. I think we've all been there, haven't we, where it's at that finite hour that bing, something happened, and it was so fabulous. But leading up to that, we were petrified. Oh, my friends, this energy is, you're being shown this energy this week, but my friends, this energy is till the end of the year and beyond. This is beautiful, beautiful journey ahead of you. Embrace the new. Definitely embrace the new. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 4. Love, light and blessings, my friends. See you next time. Bye-bye.